Hey, thanks so much for tuning into the Daily Dose for Spiritual Growth. Today is Soak It Up Saturday.
It is.
We've been going through the book of Proverbs all week. And so
Good stuff.
hopefully you've been encouraged, challenged, gained wisdom from this book of wisdom.
All so far, the first 4 chapters has really been focused on the topic of wisdom, which is what the book's all about.
Yes.
It's giving us wisdom, things that we can glean from, learn, apply to our lives to live a happier and healthier life as we serve the Lord. This chapter kind of goes, of course, it's very wise. This is very wise advice, and you should definitely live by it.
Yes, apply
But
it.
it's not talking about wisdom as a whole topic. It's really giving us a wise view on a very important topic in life.
All right, well, let's dive in.
We are in chapter 5.
Yes.
We've been doing a chapter a day. If you want to go back and catch up, you can start with 1, or you can just jump in and join us today. We encourage you to read the entire chapter, think about it, ponder it, apply it to your life. But we're just going to highlight a couple of verses for you.
That's right. Starting in verse 15. Drink water from your own cistern, running water from your own well. Should your springs overflow in the streets, your streams of water in the public squares? Let them be yours alone, never to be shared with strangers.
So basically, don't share water.
That's what it sounds like. It sounds like pour all the water, right? Don't share with anybody.
You know what? This is something I absolutely love about the Bible, because you can read the Bible at face value, and many of us do, right? Especially if you're new to faith, or if you're new to devotions, which is just spending time with God through reading, study, worship. It's easy to just read it like a normal book, where you just read it and you try to think about what that means. The really cool thing is that there's a context to this. This is a living and breathing, active book that wants to invade every part of your heart, mind, and God wants us to live this out.
Yeah.
So if you just read that at face value, it looks like it's talking about water, because that's what it's saying. However, if you study it, if you dig into it, you read a commentary, a study guide, a devotional, pray for inspiration, it's actually talking about something a lot deeper. It's talking about
marriage.
What?
Yes.
Crazy. I mean, okay, if we had read a little further, you would have caught on.
Yes,
but we did stop it a little early. But think about, Pastor, would you read it again?
Yes.
And think about this now in the context of marriage, and specifically of intimacy within marriage.
All right. Verse 15. Drink water from your own cistern, running water from your own well.
Be exclusive in your marriage. Okay, that's what that means.
Should your springs overflow in the streets?
No.
Your streams of water in the public squares?
No.
Let them be yours alone, never to be shared with strangers. Now, this is countercultural right here.
Unfortunately, it is.
It is.
It is.
It is. I mean, our culture, our society has over-sexualized, objectified people, and the focus is on yourself.
Yeah.
How can I feel good? How can I be satisfied?
We really live in a culture that's what is emphasized. You know, it used to be, I want my kids to be happy. I want to live a happy and fulfilled life, right? And I think that's still that. But now how we've morphed that is, you should live your truth. You should do whatever makes you happy, whatever makes you feel good, whatever feels right to you, and at any cost. So if you're feeling your marriage, then be in it and be happy. But if you're not feeling your marriage, if that other person or that other opportunity would make you happier, then you should go pursue that. And it's so sad, because we're giving up what the Bible tells us, the fruitfulness, the blessing of being exclusive in our marriage.
That's right. That's right. And you know what? This is sin. And sin, there's deceptive here. I'm actually going to read the first verse in chapter 5. The same chapter, what we want you to focus on. But it says, "My son, pay attention to my wisdom. Turn your ear to my words of insight, that you may maintain discretion and that your lips may preserve knowledge." Verse 3, "For the lips of the adulterous woman drip honey, and her speech is smoother than oil." And that's so true, because our culture has really encouraged this whole idea of getting your satisfaction elsewhere. And that it's like, there's something good about it.
Go do something else. But listen to what it says next. Right after that, it says, "But in the end, she is bitter as gall, sharp as a double-edged sword. Her feet go down to death. Her steps lead straight to the grave. She gives no thought to the way of life. Her paths wander aimlessly, but she does not know it." It's interesting, because in the moment, right? When you're self-gratifying yourself in whatever way, if it's through food, if it's through sex, if it's through poker, I mean, whatever it is, you're getting a high off of something. Feels great in the moment, doesn't it? Right? But afterwards, it leads to death. Usually it results in shame, guilt, regret. Obviously, in the confines of marriage, it leads to brokenness, of separation, of distrust, of all these ugly things. And for what? A moment, right? But go on and read what comes next in the section that we were initially reading, Pastor.
Yeah.
What verse are we on?
Verse 18, may your fountain be blessed, may your marriage be blessed, and may you rejoice in your wife of your youth. And how we can live a blessed marriage is that we stay connected to each other, that exclusive relationship. Because when you choose to go outside of the marriage, now you're breaking trust.
Yeah, which every healthy relationship is based on trust. And obviously going outside of that marriage and adultery physically is inappropriate. But really in today's culture, I think we need to highlight as well emotional affairs, self-gratification. That could be things like having an emotional affair with a coworker where you're, you know, flirting with one another, getting a high off of that feeling, confiding in one another, having intimate conversations with one another.
And then it also could go with pornography and masturbation.
Absolutely. Where you feel like, and heaven to you, I know, Pastor, over the years, both of us have been involved in counseling couples and things. And it's been amazing at times where we've had people sitting across the desk from us or on the other couch, and they've tried to justify that pornography or masturbation. Well, it didn't involve another person, right? I wasn't hurting anyone. I just needed to fulfill something in me, but I don't understand why my spouse is upset about that. But that is just as damaging.
Oh my goodness.
Because you're breaking that commitment. You're going outside your marriage to get fulfilled, something that God intended to be fulfilled within marriage.
That's right. That's right. And so if that is you today, if you are dabbling in pornography, if you are having an emotional affair, if you physically had a sexual affair, or you're in that relationship right now, I want to encourage you to have some trust and be able to be vulnerable and have a conversation with your spouse.
Talk to your spouse. If you don't want to start there, maybe reach out to a friend. You need to get into a situation where this sin is brought into the light so that healing can come. Obviously, talking to your spouse about it in an honest way that you can begin to move forward with it. But if you continue to hide it, if you continue to shelter it, it's only going to grow.
It is.
It's not going to die on its own. Obviously, if you're part of the Shrewsbury Assembly or in the Southern York County area, reach out to us. We would love to walk with you through this to health and healing.
That's right. So please do that. And as you go into the word here, may you be encouraged and inspired. And so thank you so much for tuning in. We'd love to see you in person tomorrow at 10:15. Otherwise, on Monday for another daily dose
for spiritual growth.